Yeah, I'm ready to see somebody else. We've been hitting every single day for our camp.
I just want to see us dominate. You know, we have a mentality like it doesn't care if we play at elementary school, it doesn't care if we play the band. It don't matter. Everyone's gonna get us.
They've been getting better. We've been getting better. We've been improving. So now we get to see how good we actually been improving.
You know, people don't really think highly of us. We definitely have a lot to prove. So we're really gonna come for it this year.
And welcome back into the Tiger Kickoff Show presented by the Columbia, Missouri. It is game day. It is game week for Missouri and South Dakota. I'm Harrison Vapnek, joined alongside the beat writers of the Columbia Missourian, Brandon Haynes, Adam Ryerson, and Wendell Shepherd. We're rocking the shades today. You know, what's the occasion?
Game day. Look good, feel good, talk good.
It's week one, man. Future's too bright.
Yeah, we got to look good. It's a long offseason basically over, not too far away from the Tigers and the Coyotes kicking off in week one of college football, a week and a season with so much expectation from Missouri and a lot of questions, to go into this season. Guys, this is a game that, a lot of us think Missouri should win and perform pretty well, but Wendell, I'll start with you. What is the number one thing you're looking for in this game?
I'm looking to see, sort of the wrinkles that this defense has this year. We talked about earlier in the week how much, experience is coming back. But there are going to be a few changes. You've lost your starting edge rushers from last year, and you have, a converted D end and Darius Robinson, and some new guys are going to be working on the other side. Some injuries. You're going to have some new guys filling in there at linebacker for Chad Bailey, and on the back end potential for J.C. Carlisle. So I'm looking to see how those new guys work out. New transfers, Travis Johnson, Sidney Williams will get some playing time. So looking forward to that.
Adam, we talked so much about the offense on Monday's show and what all the questions that we have there. On the offensive side, what's something that you have your eyes out for Thursday's game?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just the uptick in explosive plays, scoring touchdowns. It's going to be essential. Brady Cook says that's the most excited he's to see is him scoring more touchdowns and the offense doing better. So I think that's the biggest thing with Kirby Moore coming in. New offense, something a lot of Missouri Tiger fans have been hoping to see in recent years, and now they finally get it. Let's see if it can pay off.
And the red zone offense specifically. This is a team that settled for a lot of red zone field goals a year ago and turned the ball over when they got to the red zone. First time we get to see Kirby Moore's offense in the SEC to see if they can score some touchdowns from that vantage point. Brandon, what do you have your eyes out for when Thursday's game kicks off?
I'm looking at the offensive line. It's a group that they've talked about all offseason. Drinkwitz said this is the most improved position group of any group on the team. You got a couple transfers in there, or with Cameron Johnson coming in and at the guard position and everything like that. So you just got a lot to prove on that spot.
Yeah, and then the guys behind that offensive line, obviously the quarterbacks, we spent a lot of time talking about them. And it was official when the depth chart was released on Wednesday, or Tuesday for that matter, that Brady Cook or Sam Horn is listed as quarterback 1, with Jake Garcia listed as quarterback 3. It's all a mystery at this point. We finally got that answer very, very soon. Wendell, what's something that you're kind of hoping to see from the quarterback room when they take the field on Thursday night?
Well, kind of bouncing off of what Adam said earlier, I'm looking to see how they do throwing the ball downfield. I think that's the kind of one of the bigger holes that this offense has had the last couple of years is the kind of inability to push the ball downfield, especially in the air. So I'm looking to see how Cook, Horn, but maybe Garcia does.
Never know.
Yeah, does in getting past that short medium pass range and how they do connecting with the receivers downfield.
Adam, if you were in Coach Drink's shoes, it's no one's guess right now outside of Eli Drinkwitz or I guess Kirby Moore as well, how this quarterback rotation every other drive, once in a quarter, once in a half. Put yourself in his shoes. What do you think the case should be with having two strong, talented quarterbacks that haven't been able to separate themselves yet this season?
Yeah, I think that the worst thing that Missouri could do is go by drive, because there's so many new pieces in this offense and so much is moving about it that you need to kind of gain a little bit of game sense familiarity with it. And with that, you can't really do that if you go Cook to Horn to Cook to Horn. So I think that they should go by every quarter. I think Brady Cook should get the ball to start in the first quarter. He's the incumbent. He deserves it. We haven't seen a healthy Brady Cook really yet, especially last season dealing with a shoulder injury. So that, and I think in the second quarter we should see Sam Horn. And I'd like to see him with the 1 still, just to make sure that he's getting the same explosiveness from the players that Cook was getting.
Brandon, how much stock do you think should be put into this performance? Because this isn't Missouri playing Auburn or Florida. This is South Dakota. It's a Missouri Valley team. This is a game Missouri is expected to win by a lot. Do you think there should be a lot of stock from the coaching staff on the outcomes and the performances of this game?
I think there should be more stock taken on Brady Cook. Just being the incumbent, having gone through SEC play, and kind of just the grind of a schedule like that, I think Brady Cook's got to come out and kind of make his point known. For Sam Horn, he's had a few snaps against New Mexico State. He hasn't really had much else. So I think he has a little bit more breathing room. But I think, like Adam said, you're kind of wanting to see them work both with the ones. And that's really how you're going to see and take what stake in. Because if Horn comes in and works directly with the twos, you're going to have to look at it differently and take different stake in it than if it were the other way around. So I just think as a whole, you take stake into how their performance goes, but you got to just keep in mind who they're working with throughout that process.
And this is something both of you mentioned, how you expected Cook to be with the ones and you mentioned Horn with the twos. Maybe at a percentage, how shocked would you be if when they run out of the tunnel and Missouri gets the ball first, assuming so, and the quarterback on the field is Sam Horn, not Brady Cook? Would that be completely shock you at all, if that's the case?
I think yes. I would be really surprised if they give it to Horn, just because Brady Cook has that seniority status. He's got the captain. He is a captain of this football team. And honestly, we've heard Drink rave all offseason about how much he loves Cook's toughness, his leadership, and he says all the things that he's improved on this offseason. If you're going to be a starter for the entire season of an SEC team, whether you're Team Cook or not, you got to believe that he's going to get the first chance to prove why he should be the starter this season. You
guys in agreement that Cook should be the one to make the first snap or be listed as the, quote, starter?
Probably. I mean, he like Adam said, he's the captain. And, there was we saw a conversation on Twitter whenever Cook was named the captain. It's like, does this mean he's won the job? Usually your captain, that's the guy that's out there every play leading your team. I think he should be the first quarterback out there. We'll see how they played and see if it should stay that way. But yeah, I think Cook should lead out first.
Maybe we'll also see Luther Burden line up at quarterback like we saw in the first game last season in that Wildcat package that led to a couple touchdowns we saw last season. A big segment we're going to be doing on our preview game shows is what our writers are writing about this week and their great game previews and features looking ahead to each game. So starting with Thursdays against South Dakota, Adam, I will start with you. You look deep into the Coyotes roster and their coaching staff. Tell us some stuff that you found.
Yeah, so there are two players that I think Mizzou fans should know coming into this game. The first one is Aiden Bauman. He's the quarterback for South Dakota, and he's a transfer from Iowa State, so he has a little bit of experience in FBS play. He didn't get the start ever, but he has played well, and he came in last year at the tail end of the season, took the Coyotes to a 2-3 record, which was much better than what they started at. So I think that's somebody that Tiger fans should look out for. And then the other person is Miles Harden. He's a stud. He's somebody that's going to be on Bill Belichick's big board come April. 3rd round, 4th round, whatever it is, he will be on the big board. He had 3 interceptions and 4 forced fumbles in 6 games, got injured in week 6, still earned second team all Missouri Valley Conference honors.
Yeah, Bill Belichick has taken guys from Sacramento State and Lenoir-Rhyne in the last 4 drafts, so maybe he'll dip his foot into South Dakota. Wendell, we talked a little about the defense, at the beginning of the show. I know you're writing about a defensive preview. Tell us kind of what we can expect from that unit.
Well, one of the things we've heard all season that's been emphasized is turnovers. So in my story, I'm kind of taking a look back at week 1 of last year. Mizzou started the game with 3 interceptions and had very few the remainder of the season. So I'm kind of giving a preview of the guys that should be are going to be looking to get those turnovers this year, and just kind of giving a whole lay of the land of why this unit is so good, why they were good last year and why they're even better this year or should be. So yeah.
Forcing turnovers. Drinkwitz talked about it in his press conference earlier this week, a major aspect of the game and something that can possibly swing Missouri's season. Brandon, I know you looked deep into one of Missouri's biggest transfers of this offseason, Theo Wease Jr. from Oklahoma. You were able to talk to some of his former coaches and current players. What did they tell you?
They told me that Theo's a guy that Missouri fans are going to get to know quickly and going to make a lot of explosive plays. I was able to kind of talk to both his wide receivers coach and head coach at Allen High School in Texas. His junior season, they went undefeated, won the state championship. He dropped 1 pass that season. He was a dynamic player throughout high school, kind of lit up the charts. Number 3 ranked recruit coming out of high school. Went to Oklahoma, had trouble getting some success with some of the names around him, but also some injuries. Had foot injury that wiped out his junior season, so he's a redshirt senior this year, kind of trying to get back on track. But everything we've heard from fans and stuff alike, just they're excited to see him, and I think that this preview is kind of going to give a little touch into who Theo Wease is as a person, his leadership, and what he's to bring for the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, can't wait to read all 3 of your stories, and obviously looking ahead to the season, happening that each week. Let's do our game picks. I don't think many of us are picking South Dakota to pull off maybe one of the biggest upsets in college football history this week. So what's an ideal outcome for Missouri this week, Wendell? What are some of the things that would bring, I guess, the most smiles to the fans' faces, other than obviously putting together a win, but the best way for this team to feel good after week 1?
I think I want to see 2 things: is the offense scoring a lot of points and scoring consistently, and number 2, the defense staying consistent throughout the game. Talking about week 1 last year against Louisiana Tech, they started off strong defensively, and this was kind of a trend going forward in games where the defense would be great for 3 quarters, maybe because of the offense not staying on the field very long. Defense kind of slacked off a little bit near the end. They ended up giving up 24 points in that game against Louisiana Tech. So I want to see the defense play strong for 4 quarters. Am I giving a score prediction now?
You want to? You can go ahead and do it.
I got 42-7.
42-7. Actually, that number's pretty close because our friend Jaden Lewis tweeted that Missouri's 21-0 against FCS teams since 1992. Average margin of victory 37 points. That number important to some. Adam, anything specifically that you would really love seeing from this team on Thursday?
Yeah, I want to see a clean football game. I want to see not a lot of false start penalties. I want to see good defense, not a lot of flags. That's really what I'm looking for. I just want to see a clean game. Also, I just want to see if the new additions, I want to see if the freshmen, I want to see if the transfer students, I want to see if they can really make an impact on this team, because Mizzou took them for a reason, and we should see if they can really contribute to this team for the rest of the season and years to come.
These guys wanted to come to an SEC school, the best football conference in America, get to have their first impact in it on Thursday night. Brandon, what about you?
I also got 2 things. One of them is obviously something to prove. That's been the mindset of the team as they've gone throughout the season. Joseph Charleston talked about it a little last night, just about their ability to kind of come out and just make an impact. And you kind of want to see that chip on their shoulder. I think everybody from the coaching staff to players all have something that they want to show Missouri fans that they can do and show to themselves that they can do. And I think that starts tomorrow. The other thing is on the defensive side, creating havoc. Blake Baker talked about it last night at Tiger Talk, just kind of working through that and just kind of exposing the line of scrimmage, everything like that. DNs, like Wendell was saying, you have new untested guys that you got to go out there. As an FCS opponent, you have an opportunity to kind of show it and just get out there, get some reps in, and just get ready before you start the gauntlet of SEC play and everything like that.
Yeah, I think the one thing I want to see the most is more questions at quarterback. I want to see a strong performance from Brady Cook and also a strong performance from Sam Horn, so we can keep this conversation going, for the rest of the season. So we are all picking Missouri. I would say probably a 30-point victory would be about nice, around what they did against Louisiana Tech a season ago. All of us picking the Tigers hopefully leads to a 1-0 start, and next week we're able to talk getting to 2-0 ideally. That is our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back at the end of next week to preview Missouri's game against Middle Tennessee State. I'm Harrison Vapnek, joined alongside the Missouri beat writers. We will see you next time on the Tiger Kickoff Show.